How you guys doing today? I'm coming to you live now on another rainy day out here, because if I let something so simple like the fact that it's raining stop me, how am I gonna motivate you guys to push through even harder obstacles, harder struggles? What I wanted to talk about today, some tips on meditating, things I've learned, things that helped me, understandings I came to, realizations. Just, I hope you guys get started on your way. Why is it important? Well, I got another video about how if you don't meditate, you're not really living your life. You're not really alive. You're not really in control, because your mind is really in control. Your automatic impulses are in control. Check out my last video though. I don't want to go into a whole nother subject and repeat myself and give you guys a whole repeat of my last video. What I want to talk about today though is tips on meditating, things I've learned. Now the general gist of it, the idea, kind of straightforward, is like, oh, I have thoughts in my mind. Let me let go of those thoughts. Let me stop thinking so much. Let me clear my mind. Let me relax and calm down. But when you try to do it, especially at first, you find this really, really hard to do. So I definitely want to tell you guys, don't worry about how hard it is to do. What you're really looking for in the beginning is just tiny momentary glimpses, like, oh, another thought, like, oh, another thought. Whereas like you're just trying to practice letting go of thoughts, and you're just looking for those little tiny moment glimpses where you're free of thought, free of stress, free of worry, free of anxiety, free of problems. It's just like a little glimpse, then glimpse, then glimpse thought, glimpse thought, glimpse thought. And what you want to do is you want to keep trying to get at those glimpses as much as you can. When I first got into it really heavily, I literally spent like days on end, days after days, because the only way I could control myself and keep myself calm is to just constantly do this all day throughout the day. Like I'll still be doing whatever it is I'm doing. I'll be in the kitchen cooking, I'll be at work, I'll be out, I'll be working out, and I know I'm always in thought, and it's like I'm just trying to always let go of that thought, and then another thought comes in. I'm trying to let go of that thought, and it's kind of like I'll think for 2 minutes, then I'll have a moment to release. I think for 2 minutes, then I have a moment to release. And the reason why this is really important, even just to get those glimpses, those momentary glimpses, is because then your consciousness, your awareness, your freedom, your inner power grows. Every time you get one of those, it's like you're practicing it, you're growing it, you're gonna get better at it. So you want to keep looking for those glimpses, and they're gonna be really, really tiny. They may even only be fractions of a second at first, but the more you do it, the longer you'll be able to hold on to it. And then when you get to the point that you're doing like a 20 minutes meditation session, yeah, maybe you don't even want to sit down and meditate for 20 minutes, but meditation doesn't take away energy from you. It doesn't take away time. It's going to give you more time and energy to meditate, because you're going to come back and you're going to be able to do what you were doing even better, even harder, even more focused. But yeah, when you get to the point where you can like really let yourself dive into it for a good 20 minutes, even if you spend like 7 minutes of those thinking, but you have those like, at least you can hold yourself for a minute without thought. I'm not even that good. I'm here talking all this like stuff, but I'm not even that good myself. I can't even really sit down for 20 minutes and keep my mind clear. But I'm practicing, I'm working on it on a daily basis. And yeah, what I was saying too is that when you get to that point where you like, you actually can hold it on for like, you can hold on to it longer. God, I lost my train of thought. I need to meditate more. Ugh. Okay, actually what I was saying was that meditation doesn't, what I wanted to get back on was that meditation doesn't take away time and energy from you. Like let's say you got all this work to do. It's like, I gotta do all this work, I gotta do all this work. What do you mean, our world shifted? What do you mean, Xavier, for me to stop and take 20 minutes? I'm busy, I got things to do. It's gonna take too much time, I don't got time for that. What I'm trying to explain to you though, is if you do take the time, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just 1 minute, even if it's just that momentary glimpse for 2 seconds, you calm down. When you go back to your work, you're gonna be able to do it better. You're gonna be able to hit it harder. Forget, you don't want to just do your work like hours and hours on end in this like anxiety pit where you're not doing as good as you can. Like I tell people, I told my son the other day, is like, if you're gonna do something, do it your best, because sometimes it's not worth it if you don't do your best at it. Like he wanted to, when we came home, he mopped the kitchen. He's like, that's nice. I was like, good job mopping the kitchen. But you didn't do your best at it. Like, this is more my exact words. It's like you kind of left a mess though. The whole kitchen was wet. It was literally so wet. My girlfriend was upset at him, and I was like, sometimes if you don't do your best, it's better to not even do anything at all. Because he tried to clean the kitchen, and he actually made it more of a mess because he didn't do his best at it. He got lazy about it. He's quick. He rushes through things. That's really, I think, his biggest problem in life is that he gets lazy a lot. And it's not even that he's lazy, but he's probably tired and lacking energy because he's wasting so much of it thinking. That's another way you're gonna get more energy, because when you clear your mind, you're not wasting energy. We all, I mean, as children, even as adults, we have this belief that you don't waste energy because you're thinking. Like, you're wasting energy if you're exercising, if you're moving around. But the brain, actually, they say, on an average, it uses about 20% of your energy. And I know for a fact, through experience, if you're just spending your day thinking and thinking and thinking, you can literally waste like 190% of your energy just thinking. If you can clear yourself, you can clear your mind, you're gonna have more energy, you're gonna have more focus, you're gonna be able to come back, do whatever it is you have to do even better. Like, I'm able to do these videos, like I'm just I'm just going at it, I'm just hitting it, I'm just doing it hard. Where does a lot of this come from? It comes from clearing my thoughts, from clearing my mind. If I just was filled with anxiety, like non-stop anxiety right now, what I'd be thinking about, what I was thinking about before I came to shoot this video, and I didn't even think about till I started doing this video, and I'm just was the fact that I just left my job. I took the keys with me, so if the next guy comes in, he won't have the keys to unlock anything. But I couldn't leave the keys there, and I wasn't gonna just sit there and wait when I'm in this energy right now of just doing go, make this video for you guys. I hope you guys like this video too. It's like I'm like, this is about tips for meditating, but my channel is always about more than that. I'm always like, what other points can I get in here? What other things can I teach you? How can I really motivate you? How can I inspire you? How can I reframe the way you're looking at the world? Why should you even care? Why should you even do these things? But like I said before, definitely, if you're interested in things I'm talking about here, check out the video I put before this where I explain why you should meditate. But here I wanted to get into tips on meditating. So yeah, that's really the first biggest thing, that you want to make sure that you're just looking for those momentary glimpses over and over and over again, and just you keep doing that as much as you can. You might even spend like months, like just that's all you really get is like 2 seconds and then thought, 2 seconds and then thought. But the longer you do it, it becomes much easier, becomes much more simpler. See, now I just completely changed my state of mind, and I was coming back and I'm going, but here I'm calm, I'm focused, I'm in my good energy, I'm in a zone. When I do these videos, because of the place that I'm coming from when I'm doing this, it doesn't really feel like I'm wasting energy. Like, you would think me, I'm standing here, I'm talking so much, I move around a little bit, you know, whatever, I'm holding the camera, my arm does get a little tired. Maybe I waste a tiny amount of energy talking, but because I'm not thinking about it, because I'm not worried about it, I'm not really wasting any energy. I feel like I could do this over and over, like I could do this endlessly. Like, lots of times, I don't know, you might imagine like you're doing something like this, where it's like you gotta go shoot a video, and if you're there like, oh, this is the example, you don't have to make YouTube videos, but you apply this to anything. But if you're there like, oh, is it gonna be good? How do I look? Am I gonna be awkward on the camera? Are people gonna like me? You know, if you just run through your mind with all these thoughts, all these worries, I'm just draining my energy. But because I just came out here, I just did it. I'm just shooting the video. I'm just going at it. I'm just doing it without thinking about it. No pre-planned script. I'm just going. I'm not really wasting any energy. I'm not burning any energy. In fact, when I do it from this place, when I'm done with these videos, I feel better. I'm in a higher energy. I'm in a higher place. Like, my mind is even more clear. I go back, when I do these on my lunch break a lot, and then I go back to work, I feel like I'm a different person. Like, I honestly feel like I'm a different person. Like, I'm in a much higher energy, much higher vibration. It's supposed to be tips on meditating, but it's like, yeah, but you know what? I feel like a lot of the big problem with meditating is really just the idea of doing it, the motivation to do it, the will to do it, the courage to do it, the why to do it. How is this going to help me practically? That's really, I feel like a lot of it comes down to that, and that's what a lot of it really is. But yeah, I wanted to give you some more tips on meditation. I do also have a video about things Eckhart Tolle showed that taught me that I think honestly will help, but I'll go into some of the ideas and some of the concepts. Something I learned actually greatly from Elliot Halls, which was like the first time I feel like I ever really had like a real meditation session. He talked about a technique where you focus on bodily feelings. Like let's say you're sitting down on a bench. You focus on the way your butt feels on the seat. Then you focus on the way your feet feel on the ground. Then you focus on the way your butt feels. Then your feet feels. And every time you focus on one feeling, right? And every time you get a thought, you try to refocus yourself on another feeling. So that's lots of times, I mean, in the sense of meditation, you want to be able to do meditation where you're just sitting down and you're doing absolutely nothing. Like that's a beautiful place to be. But a really good way to just do it is to refocus your attention, refocus your mind. Like a lot of people talk about focusing on your breathing and your breath. Right now I'm focusing on my breath, how I'm breathing. But it's really a lot about how you feel. It's really about forgetting your thoughts, not thinking about it. Like, okay, let me think about how my feet feel. It's more like you're going inside of your body and you're feeling your feet. When I focus on my breath, I focus it on the way my chest feels, on my chest expansion, on the way it feels in my neck, how my throat feels dry right now. Like I'm focusing on the, not like I'm thinking about it and how I'm explaining it so it sounds like a thought, but when I do it, I focus on the feeling of it. So it's a good way, a good, really good way to get out of your head is to focus on your feelings. Like something I really like to talk about a lot is focusing on the way your feet feels, wherever you are. You could be at work, you could be at home, you could be out with your family, but just focus on the way your feet feels. And that's a really powerful and really powerful technique. And every time you go into thought, go back to your feet. Every time you go into thought, go back to your feet. And like I said too, you can try, if you want to really sit down and meditate, you can pick 2 bodily feelings, and every time you have a thought, you can go between them. There was something really powerful, really enlightening when I first did this technique, because I really was the first time I broke out a thought, because it was like, oh, I'm thinking again, switch to the other emotion, and then you kind of like plow through it. It's almost like I'm forcing my attention down to the other place, and then it takes it out of my head, it takes it out of my mind. Like I really recommend you guys try this one. It really like reshaped the way my mind works and help me be able to just be myself, be a person, be alive, feel free, feel happiness, feel anything, because I didn't even know how to really feel things before. Like I had troubles just feeling things. I didn't know how to feel things, honestly. Like, yeah, I knew sadness, I knew depression. I didn't know how to feel joy or happiness or real excitement about anything. I didn't know how to feel anything. Like I didn't even understand the idea. Like we all think that we just know everything, like the mind lies to us, but like when I'm like touching this, like there's a difference. Put the camera here. Like there's a difference between me just doing it and like I'm thinking about it. Like I'm putting my hand here, and there's a difference between me going into my hand, like feeling the tingliness, rubbing this, feeling the texture of this, and like not without thought, like literally just feeling it. There's a real deep, empowering difference to that when you're really feeling things on that kind of subconscious level, or maybe I should even say conscious level. Woo! Another concept that really helped me was just the idea that you don't always have to be thinking. Like when I first like hit this one, it like really just like flipped the script on me, and it was just like, what? You don't always have to be thinking? My brain is lying to me, my thoughts are lying to me. Every single thought I get to my head has actually been lying to me. And it's like, as Eckhart Tolle describes it, it's almost like it's its own life form. And it wants to come up in you, and it wants to grow in you. And that thought, it wants to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and lead to more thoughts and never end. And it's like, it's literally like described, he describes it like the thought is literally trying to take over your body, and it's trying to control your future actions. I'm trying to feel like I'm getting into what I talked about in my last video, which I do recommend you guys go check out for more tips on meditating. But let me give you another technique for meditating. Oh, there's a car coming. I want to talk about meditating. Well, you know, before I even get to this one, let's talk about transcendental meditation, transcendence meditation, TM, something like transcendental meditations, and then that Transformers. Let's talk about Transformers meditation, guys. Transformers meditation is sort of where like you take a saying, you take a chant, and you kind of repeat it. This is kind of what you're taking your focus to. Like the biggest, easiest example, if you're like, What's really good about this too is the vibrations that you're causing inside of your brain and your mind is like you're really just shaking things up in there and you're really loosening things. It's helping you really relieve the tension. That almost brings me to another topic where you focus, where something I was doing recently is where I focus on all the tension in my head and I try to release it. But with the TM, with the Transformers meditation, transcendence meditation, yeah, that's probably the word. You kind of like, you're focusing on like, it could be anything. It's just like a chant, something that doesn't really mean anything to you, something that you don't associate a thought with, and you're just kind of repeating it over and over, and you just like, you say it, and then as you close your mouth and you still hold to so it's like you really get that vibration in there, shaking up your head, and that actually, they say that one is really powerful because it activates different parts of your brain, help you be even more intelligent. Woo! My awareness has grown to this that I really feel deeply what's going on in my head. Like I feel it. Like I really feel my brain going to different states, different mindsets. Like I can honestly feel it now after doing all this. I can feel when there's tension, where the tension is. And yeah, what I was talking about too, what I was focusing on yesterday, I literally did this for the first time yesterday, where it's like I could feel my shoulder right now is tense, and I'm like trying to relax that. It's kind of also too where I go in my head and I really deeply just feel where the tension is, and I try to like slowly let go of it. Breathing helps. Breathing really helps. Yeah, some breathing techniques too. There's like take it in, hold for 3, let go for 3, hold for 3, let go for 3. Focusing, really the idea, a lot of meditation really is the idea of just taking your focus out of your head and bringing it somewhere else. You could take it and you could put it in your environment. Like I could really just focus on where I am right now. They're eating a little bit, not much. Like I could really just focus on where I am, the nature, the sounds. Yeah, that's focus on what you hear. Like forget your thoughts. It's really, a lot of it really is just taking your attention out of your mind, out of your thoughts. Like imagine your attention, your consciousness is not what you think it is. It's not your thoughts, it's not your brain. It's its own entity and it's traveling around your brain into different parts of it. This is consciousness, and it's like, I ask you, think about the last time you went to a wedding. Think about the last time you went to school. Think about the last time you went to work. Think about your wife, your kids. Think about your video games. Think about your makeup. Like if whatever it is, I actually think about something. It's like that consciousness goes to that place that you're thinking about. Like it's just like a thing moving around in your brain and it went there. And that's really what the consciousness is. And it's like you want to take the power away from your brain. You want to grab a hold of your consciousness, almost rip it out of your brain and put it somewhere else, which is why feeling is really powerful. Taking your consciousness and throwing it into your feelings, taking your consciousness and throwing it into your breath, into listening to that car going by, into the trees, into the birds, just listening to anything, even if it's the sirens going by and it annoys you, listening to it. Oh, Eckhart Tolle techniques, focusing on also the nothingness. Something really interesting. It's really, I think this is also a really powerful technique. It's really empowering if you can understand and grasp this technique. So you focus on the nothingness. Like right now, there's trees there, right? But what if instead of focusing on the trees, I focus on all the space that's in between? All this nothingness, all the space in between here. You look around, it's like instead of you driving your car down the highway, instead of focusing on the other cars and how close they are, focus on how much space there is in between you. How inside of every car, there's a lot of empty space. This is a big car, but look at all this empty space in here. I go in the engine bay, there's a big engine, but there's a lot of empty space. Maybe there's a car that's like another car is like right, maybe there's another car like right here, But instead of focusing on how close that car is, you could focus on the gap, the emptiness, the nothingness of everything. It is, as Eckhart Tolle described it, a room is not necessarily defined by the walls. Like the walls sort of give it is like structural definition in a sense, but it's really the nothingness of the room that allows everything to exist. Without nothing, there cannot be something. I'm getting all like crazy woo-woo here right now, but just look at all this nothingness and all this space and just really take it in. All the nothingness, just nothing to worry about. Why do you worry about things? Why are we worried about things? What is the reason for worrying about it? Has worrying about things ever helped you? The mind is lying to us. It makes you think you need to worry about these things so that you can solve it. And it's like, life doesn't work that way. Life works when you have that situation in front of you and it's like you deal with it while it's there, not you're in the back of your mind thinking about it. Now I understand you're thinking to yourself now, but I need to think about things. I need to figure it out before I get there so that I know what to do when I'm there. But what I'm trying to say is though, is most of the time when we're worried about something, it's better to figure it out on the spot. There's a power in just doing things raw and not pre-scripting it. When it's pre-scripted, like if I came out this video with a script, I'm like, okay, here's my script. Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about meditating today. Yeah, okay, so first point, oh yeah, feel it into your feet, guys, okay? We're gonna feel into our, like that's honestly what it would be like. That's what it would look like if I wrote out a script and I pre-planned this. But since I just come here and I'm just flowing, I'm just in life, I'm just doing it, like it just, everything flows more naturally. Everything, like there's an energy behind it that you can't fake. There's an aliveness behind it. Flow state is another thing to talk about. Flow state happens when you're doing something that's just a little bit challenging. When something becomes too easy, then it kind of gets boring. And when something's too hard, it's too challenging, then you don't really want to do it. But when you're doing something in a flow state, that's probably why people, they love like surfing. That's something that just looks so beautiful to me. Snowboarding, maybe even hiking, diving, like all these like high, like driving even really fast is another good one, where it's like you're doing something where there's a little bit of a challenge to it, just a little bit, not too much that it like that not too much of a challenge that it just like, I don't know, maybe just stresses you out or makes you angry or frustrated, but just a little bit so you get your mind activated, you get engaged in it, because there's a beauty and when your mind activates and it gets engaged, because it's telling you to conserve energy and to do nothing and to just sit down all day and just keep eating food, when that just leads to depression. Honestly, I've been there, I've done that. Try it yourself. Spend your whole life and days sitting down on the couch eating food. Even if you eat healthy, you're gonna feel depressed at some point. There's a beauty and engagement in a flow stating. Like right now, this is my flow state activity. This is my thing that I'm just kind of doing. It's just the right amount of challenging. I'm not really overthinking it, though I am focused on doing this as good as I can, getting it better and better. You know, I want this to be the best. There's that little bit of a challenge, that a little bit of engagement, that mind activation. And it's like, where's your flow state? What works for you? What's that activity that gets you just a little bit engaged? You don't want to do something that's too dangerous, like driving fast. A lot of people like to go with that one. I see so many people driving fast, and part of it is because you're running away from your anxiety. That's like something you gotta question. Are you running away from your anxiety, or are you actually dealing with it? But that sounds like a whole topic for another video. Right now I want to talk about flow states, because flow states can be really empowering, where you're doing something that's just a little bit engaging, so that you're not focused on other things. You're only focused on that one thing. You're not focused on other things. You're just focused on that one thing. That in itself can be enlivening. What's a flow state activity? You kind of got to pick that for yourself. You got to test yourself out. You got to see what you like, what's engaging for you. And if you find something that was engaging and then it gets too easy, then you got to find a way to make it re-engaging, re-challenging. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. You're going to feel better if you are getting activated, if you are being challenged. Now I want to wrap up this video too with just the idea of nothing meditation, I call it. Now all these other tips and tricks they're sort of stepping stones and guidelines to help get you to the point where you can sit down and not focus on anything, not do anything, and you could really just truly sit completely centered, completely calm, and just, because that right there, if you can take that and you can walk anywhere in that state, you'll be able to do anything. Nobody will be able to tell you anything. Nobody will be able to affect your mood, because you know just how to be in your own inner peace. You're not, things outside of you, outside influence, outside factors aren't going to bring you down, because you know where your inner peace is. You know how to get there. And what if you manage to practice any of these techniques and you manage to get any better, an ultimate goal could be to try to get to the point where, without even just shifting your focus, where it's like almost you take it away from everything and you just do nothing. Just here, just alive right now. This is Our World Shifted, where only your actions can change your life, and everything I say should be taken as instructions. I hope these tips served you guys today. I hope you try some of these. Right now I'm slowing down myself because I'm trying to actually get into the state myself. It's like I hope try to transfer some of the energy onto you so you can experience it and you can have an idea of what you're looking for. There's a beauty to meditating. There really is. Like, I used to have a lot of anger issues, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety issues. I wasn't really in control of myself, and this really gave me my life back. And that's why I'm trying to get you guys to at least try it, to take it seriously, and maybe even more importantly, take yourself seriously. Get out there and do something, anything for yourself today, guys. I believe in all of you. I know we all have potential to do whatever we want to do, and it's just that society is telling us lies and feeding us nonsense and is trying to keep us down because they don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to be successful, guys. They want all of us to go follow all the rules, not question anything, go work your job, go home to your family, go to sleep, wake up again, go work your job, go home to your family, go to sleep. They want us to just live in this endless cycle where the only reason we're working those jobs is that so somebody else can get rich, so that somebody else can get successful. They want us all to be at the bottom because they need us to be at the bottom so they can be at the top. I'll say that last point again. They want us to be at the bottom because for them to have all that money, all that wealth, all that power, it has to come from somewhere. There has to be an imbalance, and they want us to be the imbalance. I don't want anyone else to be the imbalance. I want everyone to be balanced. And I think something really, really powerful with balancing out your life starts right here, starts right now, with learning to let go of your thoughts, because without that, you don't have really that much control of yourself, and you're just subject, and you're just under the will of your natural impulses. And they know how to play with these. They know how to brainwash us. They know how to trick you into doing things you don't want to do. They know how to convince you into wanting things you shouldn't want. We all think we know what we want. We all think we want what's best for us. But just look at your diet. Are you truly picking what's best for you? Are you truly picking what's best for you? Look at your habits. Look at your activities. Could you not be living a better life? Could you not be doing things that are more productive? Could you not be a better person? Be a stronger, happier, healthier, more satisfied in life? If you're here, if you're watching this video, you know you want to change your life. You know there's things you want to do, and I'm here to help you with every step of the way. This is my journey, and I'm inviting everyone to join me in my journey. Have a nice day.